Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, as you'll have seen from the title of the video, I am doing an unhaul. I've not done one of these before on Booktube. I think I've talked about it before though, that I only keep books that I know I'm going to reread. We moved into our house 4.5 years ago, and it took me until last November to actually get some bookshelves up. And so all of the books that I'd moved with, I just put up on the shelves, and I kind of haven't really had a clear out. And I don't know if it's because we're coming into spring or what it is, but I was just getting that urge to clear my books out. I am somebody who is like the polar opposite of a hoarder. I hardly keep hold of anything, and sometimes people have accused me of being like unsentimental. I'm actually really sentimental, but it's more about like dates, and I have thousands of photographs that I can't ever delete. But stuff I don't really keep hold of that much. So I have had a good clear out, and I've actually got 37 books to show you. What I'm going to do with them is, if you guys want any of them, then please leave me a comment down below. You can just PayPal me the money for postage. I'm not really like looking to make any money, I just want to kind of get rid of them. So if you guys want any of them, let me know. Any that I don't sell from here, I might put on like Gumtree or somewhere, and then anything else that doesn't sell I will just take to the charity shop. So, tiny disclaimer, I don't usually put many disclaimers on my videos, but I need to put one here. These are not books that I didn't enjoy. Some of them are. I can see like 2 here that I DNF'd. Some are just ones that I didn't enjoy that I've read recently, but most of them are books that I loved. Like some of them I gave 5 stars, but I'm not going to reread them, and they've already been like lent out to all the people that I lend books to, like my mother-in-law and my friends and my husband, that kind of stuff. So they're just not going to get used, and I would much rather that they be read by somebody who's going to enjoy them. And also I just don't want them taking up space in my house. I have so many books coming in, I need to clear some space for them. So I'm going to go quick through the books because there's 37, so if I do like a wrap-up style video, we'll be here for weeks. And actually a lot of them are really well known and popular, so if you want any more information on any of them, then drop me a comment and I will happily chat to you about them in the comments below. Let's get on with it. Right, the first book, this might be already a controversial thing to be unhauling, but it's The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I read this last year, I loved it, it's a very important book, and I really enjoyed it, but I'm not going to reread it, so it needs to go out into the world. It's a really beautiful spine, but yeah, needs to go. Next is The Roses of May by Dot Hutchinson. I recently did a wrap-up including this book. It's the second in a serial killer series, and I'm not going to reread it. Next is another one that I mentioned recently, which is The Only Girl in the World by Maud Julian. This is non-fiction about Maud Julian's childhood. Then we've got Why the Whales Came by Michael Morpurgo. I love this cover. It's such a nice addition. It's got a really cute illustration on the back as well, and also the spine. I bought this because Charlie was reading it at school last term or the term before, and I always like to read what he's reading, so I bought it, loved it. He's already read it, it won't get read in here again. Then I've got quite a few by Rainbow Rowell. So I've got Carry On. Which one is this? Oh, it's Simon and Baz. Yeah, I enjoyed all of these Rainbow Rowell books, but again, I'm not going to reread them. So again, we've got Carry On. We've got Attachments. We've got Landline. I was clearly on a real Rainbow Rowell jag recently. I think that's the last one for now, but I think there are others coming up. I've also got a young adult, which is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandine Nelson. Really enjoyed it. I'm not going to read it again. I've got a Giovanna Fletcher book, Dream a Little Dream. Again, really nice cover, really beautiful, but wasn't really for me, so I'm not going to read it again. I've then got one that I really enjoyed and was super popular a few years ago. Well, it won the Man Booker in 2012, which is Bring Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel. I've got one that my brother bought me that I really did enjoy, but I'm not going to read again. The Master and Margarita, which is literary fiction, and yeah, cool cover, but it's not going to get reread. Oh, here we go, another Rainbow Rowell, Eleanor and Park. Another book from my brother, which was His Bloody Project by Graham McRae Burnett. I would highly recommend this. I really enjoyed it, but again, it's a read once kind of thing for me anyway. Just dragging the next stack across. I've got England's Mistress, The Infamous Life of Emma Hamilton by Kate Williams. This is a biography of Emma Hamilton. Then I've got one that I DNF'd at the start of the year, which is Bret Easton Ellis, American Psycho. This was not for me. I think it's in my January wrap-up. I went on a whole rant about it, so check that out if you want to know more. I've then got Karen Slaughter, The Kept Woman. Again, I think this was in a January or February wrap-up. Didn't love it. I'm not going to reread it, and it's already done the rounds for people that might want to read it in my life. I've got Liam Moriarty, Truly Madly Guilty. One of my unpopular Booktube opinions is that I really don't like Liam Moriarty's writing. I've tried to read loads of her books and they just haven't done it for me, so this was definitely going to go. He Said, She Said by Erin Kelly. Again, I think this was in my January wrap-up. It was very average, and yeah, it's not going to be reread. Then a book that my brother bought me for Christmas just gone, which is Solar Bones by Mike McCormack. This was really not for me. Again, I think it's been in one of my recent wrap-ups. I've got The Girl with Seven Names, with a name that I can't pronounce and I feel horrendous about it. Hyunse Lee, I think. It's about her escaping North Korea. Fascinating book. Really highly recommend it, but it's one of those that I've read it and I'm not going to read it again. I've then got Wild About the Girl by Louise Pentland. I loved this book. I read it earlier this year. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm really excited about the third one that's coming out, I think in June, and I've actually pre-ordered it, which I never do. But again, this has done the rounds. I'm not going to read it again. Time for it to go out into the world. Then a book that I read years ago and really liked, Herman Koch, I think that's how you say it. The Dinner. Really clever literary fiction. Came out a few years ago. I'm sure you've probably heard all about it, but it's basically about two couples that go out for dinner. It's like split into like different sections, like starter, main course, dessert, that kind of stuff. And it just kind of slowly unravels. Really clever. It's one of the first like literary fictions I think I read. Really enjoyed it. Another great cover, but it's not going to get read in this house, so out it goes. Then a hardcover that I bought this year, The Water Cure by Sophie McIntosh. I was really excited about this book and was really underwhelmed by it. It's quite odd. I've talked about it in other videos, and I'm not going to reread it, so out it goes. And then an Instagrammer that I've been following for a while and I really enjoy is Part-Time Working Mummy. She wrote a book called Patchwork Life, which came out last year. I think she's got another book coming out shortly, or she's working on it by the look of her Instagram. I love her. I think she's amazing. And I really, really enjoyed this and flew through it. But again, it's not going to get read again, so out it goes. Then I've got a hardback copy of The Time Traveller's Wife. This is a massive book. I've got a paperback copy of this. I don't need this copy anymore, and it's just taking up space, so it's going. Then I've also got an original copy. Like, this is what I remember the covers looking like when I was a kid, of Half-Blood Prince. I've got another set with Half-Blood Prince in it, so I don't need this one anymore. It's not even my favourite of the Harry Potters. And again, it's just taking up space. Can you tell I've been really ruthless with this? Right, and then final stack. Oh, another kid's book that Charlie was reading at school, which is Philip Pullman's The Firework Maker's Daughter. I really enjoyed this. I would definitely highly recommend it. But again, Charlie and I have both read it. It's not going to get read again, so it's going. A book that I read last year, I think I might have lent this to my mother-in-law. Maybe that's why it's taken so long to come through. But The Girls by Emma Cline is about two girls joining a cult, I think in the 60s, yeah, summer of 69. It's got major like Charles Manson vibes. It was clever. I'm not going to read it again. And again, it's done the rounds, so out it goes. Oh, this is a book that I'm unhauling, and I know that I'm going to get comments about it. But again, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Everyone in my family's read it. And I'm not going to reread it, so it's gonna have to go, so please don't shout at me. But that is Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Like I said, I loved it, but it's not gonna get read again. I do have a Love This edition with the matches. It's really cool. So yeah, sorry, but that's going. Friend Request by Laura Marshall. I've spoken about this in a wrap-up January, I think. It's a thriller about a woman that gets a friend request from somebody that died 15 years ago, or did they? It was alright. It wasn't my favourite. not going to read it again. So out it goes. Take a shot every time I say that. Next is a book that I was given called Why Does My Cat Squeeze Into Boxes? It was kind of like a joke Christmas present from an ex-colleague a few years ago, and it's really fun little book all about like cats and their foibles. But again, once you've read it, you kind of don't need to read it again. So it's got things like following me to the bathroom, which incidentally my cat does all the time. It's deeply annoying and a bit weird. But yeah, it's fun and it's cute, but I'm not going to reread it, so that's going. I've then got a couple of non-fiction by Roxane Gay. So I've got Hunger, which I read from her at the end of last year. I think I read both these in the end of last year, and also Difficult Women. Both of them are really important and really, really great books, but I'm not going to get any further use out of them, so they need to go out into the world and spread the message. I've also got Good Me, Bad Me by Ali Land, which was a thriller that came out last year. I think it's supposed to be YA actually. Basically about a girl whose mum is a serial killer, and she's kind of getting ready to testify against her, and it's that kind of question raised over the nurture-nature argument, and is the girl going to follow in her mum's footsteps, or is she going to go a different way? I thought it was really clever. It's got a fab cover. It's really clever. But I'm not going to read it again. So out it goes. And then another thriller that I read a couple of years ago. I've only got 2 books left. So the first one is Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. This is a few years old now. When did this come out? It's also been turned into a film with Nicole Kidman, which I really liked. When did it come out? 2011. So yeah, it's a few years old. And it's basically about a woman called Christine, who every time she falls asleep, she basically forgets herself and wakes up the next day with a memory that's been reset. So it's all about that and what happens to her. And I remember it being really clever. I remember enjoying it, but it's just sitting on the shelf and it's not going to get reread. So goodbye. And then the last book that I have to unhaul is also potentially another one that I might get comments about, because it's J.K. Rowling, A Casual Vacancy. I read this when it first came out, which was a few years ago now. I mean, like, post Harry Potter. When was this? 2012. And it was okay. I thought it was one of those books, if it come out under a different name, it wouldn't have done so well, but because it's got her name on the cover, people bought it. And I remember it being, I think it's like set in a little town and there's something happening, and it's just like, it's sort of about life in a village with a mystery in the middle of it. A bit like Midsummer Murders, if you know that reference. It was okay. It's quite a chunker. Nobody here is going to read it again, so it's going. So those are all the books I'm unhauling. I have got an unholy mess down here now, which I need to sort out. If any of you guys want any of these books, please do let me know. I'm quite happy to send them just for the cost of the postage. Like I said, any that don't go, I will just take down to the local charity shop. But yeah, let's have a chat about unhauling in the comments. Are you somebody that holds on to every book you've ever read? Or do you like to have a clear out? How often do you do that? Do you feel bad about clearing out books? Because I don't feel bad about letting go of any of these. I've enjoyed them. I've passed them on to like friends and family who have enjoyed them. And now it's time for them to go out of my house and find homes somewhere else, because I've got other books coming in that need space. So I don't feel bad about it. But let's chat in the comments and I will see you next time. Thanks guys. Bye.